just wanted to give a brief little update about my third week being strict carnivore. I have encountered a few problems this week that I feel like nobody talks about in this community. Maybe it's a unique problem to me because I'm in another country, but in any case, in case anybody else is experiencing this, I just wanted to bring it up. So, since I'm in another country, there are cultural differences between the US, my home country, and this country. One of them being the culture in this country has a custom of gift giving. So it can be if you go to someone's house, they invite you there for whatever reason, maybe for dinner, or you're just going to their house for something else. You would bring them a gift to thank them for inviting you into their home. You bring a gift with you whenever you're invited to someone's home. In the same sense, if you are a guest somewhere or people are inviting you to host something, it's typical that they would give you gifts. Also, another example is if you travel somewhere, you would bring back gifts for your fellow colleagues and share that with them. So that's a few examples of an instance where you would give or receive gifts. The other one is sharing traditions or customs with foreigners. So Japanese people are very proud of their culture, as they should be, and they like to share with the foreigners and educate them about Japan because they want to foster more of that love for Japan that they feel, and they just want to share about their culture. And they're also, some people, not everyone, but some people are also interested in learning about other cultures. So there's a bit of a trade-off there, especially with the English club. They like learning a lot about the US, so we come and sometimes we'll teach them or give them examples of things about the US that are different from Japan, and they will tell us things that are different in Japan that might not be true in the US, because that's just what it's all about, sharing your traditions and customs. So, this past week, my husband and I were invited to the seniors English club in town. It is older people, and one thing that is definitely non-existent here in Japan is having dietary restrictions. That is not a concept that people understand, especially the older generation. And also, if you refuse something that people are offering you, it is very rude. So, especially when they're trying to share their culture with you. So, my husband and I were invited to a tea ceremony that they hosted at the club this week. Now, I expected it to be everyone participating and it being more like a tea party where everybody is involved, but it was really my husband and me at a table, and they were teaching us and showing us how the tea ceremony works. In the first part of the tea ceremony, they give you a piece of a little cake thing. It's kind of small, and you're supposed to eat that before you have the tea. The reason being because the sweetness of the cake counteracts the bitterness of the tea, and so they all go together and even each other out. And so it was not an instance where I could just refuse to do this. I was partaking in a part of their culture that they wanted to teach me about, and especially the older generation would not really understand the concept of having a dietary restriction. So in terms of being polite and grateful for these people wanting to teach me about their culture, I did partake in this tea ceremony. My husband and I were the only people that were actually partaking in it, so it would have been quite a bummer for everyone if I was refusing to do that. And I'm not here to destroy relationships or cause any tension between people, especially when they want to teach me about their culture. So I did have a few bites of cake. I didn't finish it because it was actually hard to eat the way that they wanted me to eat it. And since it was taking a long time to figure it out, I really only had a few bites of it, but it was a bit of sugar and something starchy. Apparently they were saying something about beans, so it might have been maybe a mung bean cake. I'm wondering if that might be what it was, but it was definitely like a starchy type of flour in there. I felt like it was either rice flour or potato flour, but if it was a bean, that would also make sense with the texture of it. So there was a bit of that, and then of course sugar in there. Just a few bites of it though, and then they brought us some matcha tea that they prepared in the traditional way, and we drank that. So I had a little caffeine as well. So all this being said, I could have taken this day and been like, well, I fell off the plan, not by my own choice, but nonetheless, I fell off the plan. I had things I wasn't supposed to have. I might as well just eat whatever I want today. But I did not. I stayed on plan in the rest of my time. So that is an important point that I've realized a lot of people fall into, is they have something that's off plan and then they just decide, oh well, it's over, I messed up, or oh, I had something I'm not supposed to, might as well eat all the other things while I'm still having things I'm not supposed to, and I'll get back on the wagon later. No, that is not what happened. I participated and had a great time interacting with these people. It's been really fun getting to be a part of this club. I also recently, a couple months ago, taught a cooking class there because they want to learn about American recipes, and one of the most American things I can think of is the fried chicken sandwich, since it was invented there anyway. So I taught them how to make that as well. So there are instances that I keep running into where I can't always stay exactly on plan, and that's okay. You know, I'm in another country. These people want to share their culture with me. They want to show me different types of their foods, especially since I'm very interested in foods of other cultures, and most of them are aware of these things as well. So of course, they want to teach me and educate me. There have been instances where I have been invited to restaurants that didn't have options that were low carb or even close to safe to carnivore for me. There have been instances where I've been invited over to people's houses and it would be extremely rude not to eat the food that they went out of their way to prepare for me. So instances like that, I really have no control over, and that's okay. I don't worry about it because I worry about what I'm eating every single day at home, what I'm preparing for myself the majority of the time. And when there are times when I can't stay on plan, I don't punish myself because it's more about the experience and being involved with the people rather than, you know, indulging in something. Of course I love food, but I also love feeling my best, and a lot of foods don't allow me to feel my best. And so I have come to a place where I don't always want to eat them, but sometimes I don't really have a choice in the matter. So also in the terms of gift giving, we were gifted after this event a beautiful, humongous, gorgeous, expensive piece of fruit. It's an Asian pear that they grow here in Japan, and in case you did not know, fruit here in Japan is kind of like an art form. Most of their fruit is very expensive. They only import a little bit, and that's usually the cheaper fruit, but the fruit that's grown here is rather expensive because they are very particular with their growing process. And so we were gifted this beautiful Asian pear, and that was something that would not stay fresh, and we could not keep it fresh until the end of the month. So I did have a little of that night as well, but it wasn't like using it as an excuse like, oh, I've eaten off plan, so let me just have all these other things. It was like, okay, this was a gift someone went out of their way to get for us. I want to partake in it. But it was so big, my husband and I could not finish it together. So there was a little bit the next day for his lunch, and I had a few bites of that as well. But other than that, I have stayed on plan and been fully on plan. I just wanted to make you aware of these instances that happen because I want to be truly honest and transparent here and let you know. These things were out of my control. I didn't know about this tea ceremony before starting this month, and I'm definitely not going to do this challenge next month since my birthday's also in the month. I want to actually be able to have a little fun on my birthday. But we were invited just a few weeks ago to this tea ceremony. We didn't know what was involved in it. I understood the possibility that there would be treats for me to eat. I didn't know if those treats were actually a part of the ceremony, if it was just something to have alongside it, but it was actually a part of the ceremony. So I'm not worried about what happened, and it was just one little area of this whole challenge, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping the challenge and just eating however I want or adding other things in again yet. I am not. I am sticking to this challenge still to the end of the month. Still haven't had coffee. I did have caffeine from the tea, but other than that, haven't had coffee. I'm still sticking strong to it. And I will say, actually, after having those cakes, I don't know if you can see it. These are some burns, sorry. But my rash did start popping up a little bit, so I'm wondering if it was whatever that starchy thing was. It could also be the sugar. I'm not 100% sure since there were a few ingredients in there, but I did notice my rash did flare up a little bit. So that's just something for me to take mental note of. Other than that, I feel okay. I'm down to 74 kilos, so I'm still going strong. Have evened out a bit. So we'll see if I have any more weight loss in this month as well. And I'm trying to incorporate more exercise in these last few weeks to see if that makes a difference in how I feel. Although I will say, after having some fruit, I did feel a bit more energetic. That might have just been the sugar high, but I did feel a bit more energetic, and part of it could just be that I've had a hard time getting the amount of fats that I need to have a good amount of energy, and so that little bit of glucose probably really woke my brain up after being a little low this month. But in any case, it'll be a lot easier for me to get fats when I have dairy and stuff again. That's really where I get a lot of my macros. It's just a lot easier for me to eat it that way. Having the butter and beef tallow is a bit hard for me. I have really been struggling with the fat, and my constipation has not improved whatsoever. It was bad before even the cake, so I'm not even blaming the cake about it. It was just a few bites anyway, but really I had to take more Senna tea because I have just not been able to have bowel movements. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if it's an electrolyte or a fat issue. It could be completely something else, so I have no idea. But that's just a little bit of an update about what's going on with me right now and what I've been dealing with. So my journey to fix my constipation still not working. I felt it was much better when I had more variety in my diet, even though it was still a little wishy-washy. Sometimes I would have good movements and sometimes I would be constipated. I don't always know what the difference was in those weeks. I'll just be playing around with it when I reintroduce foods again. But in any case, I'm staying strong with this diet till the end of the month. I'm not taking any of this as an excuse to stop. And so if you are also having a more restrictive diet right now, don't give up, even if there's a time when there's that social pressure to eat something that you're not supposed to, or you want to partake in a certain event with people. Don't use that as an excuse to stop altogether, okay? Because you can just start back right after that, and it's not even like, it doesn't even need to be used as an excuse to go binge and have all these things. Sometimes it's just for the experience and for being with those people that you're going to have those things. But that doesn't mean that's going to ruin your diet overall. So please don't be in that mindset of, this ruined my diet, it's all over, now I've got to just eat anything, or I can't continue this diet. Please don't be in that mindset. It doesn't have to be that way. That night I had some steaks or something. I don't remember exactly what we had that night for dinner. But I still had something on plan, and I've been sticking to the plan this whole time. Haven't had any other seasonings other than salt. I'm just sticking with it and going strong. So I just wanted to be totally transparent and let you know about that. It was something totally out of my control that I got to participate in, and I don't regret it, because it was another experience I got to have here in Japan, and to, you know, interact with these people and learn more about their culture. So, needless to say, I'm not worried about it, I'm not upset about it, I'm still going strong with my diet and sticking to this really strict way till the end of the month. Thank you so much for being here and listening to me and keeping up with these updates. I really am enjoying being able to experiment with this. I'm learning more about myself and this diet. But I just want to thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you very, very much. And I will see you in the next video.